most people come in because they're in pain. And I get it. Pain changes everything, and it's miserable. It affects your mood, it affects your focus, it affects your patience. A lot of times it affects how you're able to show up for your spouse and your kids. But one of the most difficult parts of my job is to be able to look at this pain and assess it objectively. It doesn't matter whether it's a headache or a digestive issue. Maybe it's a baby having trouble latching. Maybe it's someone with severe low back pain going even into the legs and butt, maybe even. Although the pain is a big deal in that moment, and we never want to overlook that, we have to remember that pain itself is not the real problem. The pain is there to tell us that there is a problem. And a lot of times, the underlying cause of that actual problem has been there for quite some time, and the body has been screaming at you that it needs to be taken care of. The body simply has a threshold of not being able to deal with a certain amount of pain and not being able to deal with a certain problem before that pain actually arises. From my perspective as a doctor, pain is a signal that something deeper isn't working the way it should be. In the spine, that shows up in a myriad of different ways. It often means the joints just aren't moving properly. And when that's happening, it leads to inflammation. It leads to pressure on the tissue surrounding the spine. It leads to irritation. A lot of times it can release chemicals that irritate those nerves and that trigger pain going to different places. But pain is just the body's alarm system. It's not the actual fire. This pattern shows up through the whole body. Take digestion, for example. Bloating, cramping, things like acid reflux. Those are problems, they're symptoms, but they're not actually the problem. They're signals that something deeper is actually going on in that body. The gut lining might be inflamed, or the nervous system may not be able to communicate and regulate digestion effectively the way it's supposed to. The body may just not be responding well to the foods that we're giving it. That's a very, very common thing that we have recurring issues, and it's a lot of times our body telling us that something we're putting inside of it is not what it wants. The discomfort is the body saying, there's something not working here. Or think about the heart issues, things like chest pain, fatigue, maybe shortness of breath. Those, a lot of times, they're severe, they're very important symptoms we need to pay attention to, but they are just that. They are a symptom of something deeper going on there. The body's warning light, they're the dashboard light in the car saying, hey, something deeper is going on here. So our goal in our office is never just to silence the symptom. We want the symptom gone, but it's never just to silence the symptom. We want to understand why it's there in the first place so that we can start to find the root cause of where that's actually coming from and what's hiding beneath the surface. If we only stop the pain, it's like taking the batteries out of the fire alarm. The noise stops for a little while, but the fire keeps on burning. And a lot of times the fire starts burning out of control, and it's really hiding the things that are really going on underneath the surface. We want to find the source so that we can help the body restore balance. And this part is just as important. When the pain goes away, that doesn't mean the problem is actually gone. That's one of the hardest things to understand. That's why we take x-rays in the office. We want to be able to see what's really happening, what's really going on in that person's spine and nervous system. Sometimes we'll see degeneration or instability in the spine. We start adjusting and the pain starts to disappear because the spine starts to move a little bit better. But that doesn't mean the spine's actually perfect. It means we're on the right track, though. The structure that caused that issue in the first place, that caused that pain in the first place, a lot of times it's getting better, but that structure is never going to be perfect, especially if there's degenerative changes that have gone on. Maintenance care helps to prepare and keep proper motion in the spine so that we can keep healthy mechanics so the problem doesn't keep returning. One of the biggest things this kind of care does is it raises the actual threshold of what your body can actually deal with and the amount of stress it can actually handle. Some people live in constant pain because of that weak spot in their body has a low threshold. So anytime they do anything, they're hitting that low threshold again and again. What consistent care does in our office is it'll raise that threshold even though there's damage to that area, and it helps your body handle more life and more stress without setting off that fire alarm every single time. See, pain is not the problem. It's your body trying to tell you and get your attention that there is a problem. Don't just silence a signal, listen to it. Your body is always trying to tell you something. The more that we learn to listen to it, the more that we can catch these things early on and allow us to start to make some progress before that actually turns into a bigger problem. So if you guys have questions, as always, please reach out and let me know. I hope that you guys like and subscribe to this channel so that anytime we release anything new, that you guys get it, you guys get notified right away. We do put a lot of time and thought into and a lot of these videos come out of what we're dealing in the office on a regular basis. So I pray that you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. If you guys need anything, you reach out. Bye-bye.